So shall we get this thing started? Shall we get this thing rolling? We gotta go.
We gotta go.
We gonna go.
We gotta go on here. Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever recording of the Two Starving Artists podcast. My name is Gabe Chandler. I'm joined here by
Brooke Butterworth.
Brooke Butterworth. And we are the two starving artists themselves. We are a couple of best friends who met in college. And
We did meet in college. I was there. I can vouch.
Mhm.
It happened.
We elected to both move down to Atlanta. We're both in the north side of Atlanta, pursuing acting careers, pursuing show business careers, and other business opportunities as they come. So
it's kind of where the starving part comes in.
And basically we just wanted an excuse to hang out with each other again, or hang out more.
True.
Than we already did, and so we decided to do this. We decided to do this podcast, and we're gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna record a few of these, start releasing them. And if you're listening to this, thank you so much. We appreciate it. If you're watching this, thank you so much. We appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. We appreciate you.
From the bottom of our hearts and the bottom of our feet, we salute you.
Don't know where the feet came into this, but here we
I don't
are.
know. You just reminded me of Bilbo Baggins from Lord of the Rings when you said "from the bottom of my heart." No, but it was a different movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was no, not singing in the rain. White Christmas. That was White Christmas.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Bing Crosby, like, from the bottom of my heart.
And then the British accent was just, oh, Bilbo Baggins. I don't know where my mind is. It's been a crazy day. Well, not really. It's not really been a crazy day for me.
It's been a crazy chapter of life, kind of.
Yeah.
For both of us.
Yeah.
Because while we're not acting, we're pursuing, we still got to keep a roof over our heads. We still got to keep food on the table, all that good stuff. So we are currently also working full time in other industries. I find myself working in outbound sales, which is not fun, but it gets the job done like you do. Brooke, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Oh, I don't know, Gabe. I don't even know where to begin. I feel like we both juggle so much to just to be artists. We have to just juggle so much to survive. So I'm a personal trainer.
Yeah, I was about to say, you just started this brand new endeavor, this big exciting thing.
Yes, I'm a personal trainer. That's something I actually wanted to talk to you about because before this, I was just doing what I would say Jenna Fisher calls like just the side jobs that you do on your way to doing what you really want to do. So I was in that same fashion, like in her book, The Actor's Life, which I highly recommend. It's really great. Have you read it, Gabe?
Not yet. I need to get myself a copy. Actually, can I borrow yours at some point?
Yes. Where is it?
We can find it afterwards. We can find it later.
Well, here's the thing. I think I lent it to someone else. But I might have it back. Anyway, I'll find it. And I thought I lent it to you or our other friend. I'll have to text her. But anyway. Yeah, highly recommend that book. But basically, that's what she did is she did a bunch of temp jobs. A lot of actors do waitressing. But it's not necessarily something that I would say any of us love. It's not a career. And I was always scared of the term career because one of my acting teachers, you remember Jack Wan?
Mm-hmm.
You were in a class with him, right?
I was. Actually, my first show that I did back in college, both of us attended a small Christian liberal arts school called Asbury University in the town of Wilmore, Kentucky, that I'm sure none of you other than people who know us have heard of.
Yeah, no one's heard of it, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Actually, I'm going to ask you this. Why did you go there? Because to be honest, like a lot of actors talk about going to NYU or Juilliard or I never told anyone this, but I actually got into the American Dramatic Academy of Acting or something.
Wow.
America Academy thingy. What is it called?
Academy
America
of Dramatic Arts.
Dram Dramatic Arts
Guys, we got some live research
College.
going on right here,
I'm
right now on
live.
the Two Starving Artists podcast.
American Academy of Dramatic Arts.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, but I never went because I was in the middle of Asbury, and my family
Mm,
had already, like, we had struggled so much just to pay for tuition to go
mm,
there because it's a private school.
yeah.
And I was like, I can't leave. Like, we've already struggled so much for me to just to be here. And I would have to attend, I don't know how long at a different college. Like,
Hmm.
I can't do it. Like, yeah. So I was, I don't know, part of me has wondered what would have happened if I went there, but also part of me was like, it worked out for the best, I think. I mean, everything's gonna work out for the best if you think about it, you know? That's what I think anyway. But why
Hmm.
did you go? Why did you go to Asbury?
So I was born and raised in the state of Kentucky, in the Lexington area, which Lexington is a much larger city than Wilmore, and it's about 15-20 minutes away. Um, so I originally, back when I first got started, uh,
Oh, I lost you.
back in middle and high school, I, oh, you can't hear me?
I can hear
Testing
you
one.
now. I can hear
Okay.
you now.
We'll edit that part out. Or
Well,
keep it in for more dramatic effect. Who knows?
yeah, we're kind of we're new to this, but
We are just
what were you saying?
y'all are listening to the first ever Two Starving Artists dramatic podcast.
Yeah,
Dramatic
first ever.
podcast. It's
And
dramatic because it's us.
it's dramatic and raw. Like, I need a shower. I've yeah. What okay, so you were born in Kentucky.
I was born and raised in the state of Kentucky, in the city of Lexington, which is about 15 to 20 minutes northwest or northeast of Wilmore, Kentucky. And back in middle and high school, I actually, like, acting wasn't the first thing that I wanted to do. I When I went into college, I actually started off, I wanted to be a documentary filmmaker. So I was looking around. I knew media was something that I had a big interest in.
I forgot
um
about that. I really
yeah,
did.
yeah, that was before you knew me, like a few years before
Oh,
you knew me, actually.
yeah.
um and so I was looking around for uh schools that did a lot of media work. And so, like, my family is, I'm the son of a minister, my family is strongly Christian. And so, of course, you've got like Liberty University and places like that you're looking at. But I also found, by way of kind of a roundabout way, so I'm homeschooled. My mother, she's a saint, a superwoman, homeschooled me and my three siblings all the way up through high school. And to help with that, especially during the high school years, we all attended a high school co-op group. And a whole bunch of my friends who had also attended that group, Asbury has a program called the Asbury Academy, where they let local high school students take one class a semester for free. And so
Oh.
Asbury also has a bunch of like summer camps, like horseback riding and swimming and math and science and all that kind of stuff. And so these homeschool families that are in the area all attended these, camps and these classes. And so as I'm slowly getting, I'm making my way up towards
Making my way.
making my way. As I'm making my way towards senior year, all of my friends are talking about this little place that I've never heard of called Asbury. And it's just Asbury, 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 Asbury. It's like whispering in my ears about this wonderful place called Asbury University. And I was like, okay, how about this? If you guys will stop talking about this little place that I've never heard of and never been to, I will go on a visit there just to check it out. And so one,
I'll check it out so you can stop talking about it.
yeah, stop
Jeez.
stop telling me it's the greatest thing ever if I've never heard of it. So one, I think it was like the winter preview weekend or something like that. So like real early spring. Um, I attended a preview weekend at Asbury, and I immediately fell in love with the school. Like
Well, for about what? What did you fall in love with?
the
Because
people, the people for the most part. Like the guys on the hall that I stayed on were zany, wacky, fun, just like great dudes, who could go from cracking up at an episode of Family Guy to half an hour later, we have a whole bunch of random guys from across the hall in the room and we're talking about theology on like a deep level. Um, and that kind of thing just blew me away. And like the dorm hosts that I had were just amazing. I was really wowed by the media building, which the Miller building was still being built all the way up until the second semester of my freshman year. So Miller was still under construction, and it was this great, crazy, amazing new space. Which, if you had been in the old media building, which was just this tiny little
true. I
multi-classroom
heard at
thing,
least.
yeah, which is with a TV studio the size of a large, living room, family dwelling living room.
I only went in there to film a film that we were doing.
Mhm.
Um, that got
That was
into
after
like
it had,
the film festival there.
how did
That's the
that
only time I had been in there. Oh, I lost you again.
yeah. And so I actually, well, it froze up for a little bit for me too. This is the trials. The trials. We'll make it through it. We'll make it through.
We'll do it in person when we can I don't want to say afford it. I'm trying to use like more positive language. When we feel like it's the right time,
to move to in
and
person.
right now we feel like it's best to allocate our funds and our time to doing it online. That's what we've
Mm-hmm.
chosen to do out of responsibility.
Yep.
So yeah, so you fell in love with the people, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
you went, and because it had a good media program, or
Yeah, the
and it
media
was
program had a lot to offer. I had some really good experiences as well with the theater department and the history department as well. Like I only ever did one play in high school. I was in Thoroughly Modern Millie, and it was a blast. But like I up until I got to college, I never really fully grasped that acting and that theater and that kind of thing, that those were crafts,
mm,
like so many other industries, and they can be honed and they can be plied. um and like, I'd grown up in a very traditional with a very traditional mindset of, jobs and industries and that kind of thing. So it took going to college and kind of getting that different view of what a craft could be,
mm.
to really expand on that for me and help me change that and understand that. And so
Yeah, I actually got that in high school because
mm,
I whoa, I got something in my throat. Hold on.
yeah, take a drink of water,
Ah, I have been. Whew, okay, I think it's gone.
drink more, hydrate.
Hydration.
Hydration.
Yeah, I actually realized in high school because I remember I was in I think the first play that I had the lead in like ever. It was like the first thing. Um and our high school was pretty strict. Like our drama teacher, Miss Crow, shout out Miss Crow. Miss Rinda Crow was amazing. She was like a mom to some kids who didn't have moms in our class.
Mm,
She like really, really cared. And she would do whoa, huh. Water. She would do really intense theater shows. She was even the type of teacher who was like, if you're in a sport, I can't trust you to make it to all the rehearsals, so I
oh
can't give you a
wow.
lead role. Yeah, so like I always thought about I always thought the most important question besides like moral questions was like
Mm,
what do you want to be when you grow up? And so I knew from like age. Well, first of all, my first career choice was garbage disposal man because they rode on the back of garbage trucks, and I was like, that's the coolest freaking thing ever.
I think for a lot of us, that was the idea back in
I
the
thought it
day.
was so cool, and I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. I want to ride on a truck. And then once I understood what acting was and that people walk around and they're like, we are actors, I was like, I want to be an actor. And I remember um, telling someone, like the first person I told, they just laughed at me. And I was like, oh,
Huh.
okay. So I guess I can't be an actor for a career because that's dumb. I guess it's like, so in my mind, I was like, okay, I can't do that as a career. And then in high
Hmm.
school, I remember, so I was like a track athlete and jumping was like my thing. Like I was a track jumper doing high jump, long jump, all the jumping, jump, jump, jump,
All
jump,
the jumping.
all the jumping.
Brooke
And
jumping bean Butterworth.
um, yeah, well, sort of, but it was like a big deal. Our school didn't have like a good football team or anything,
Hmm.
and track was not popular there, but at least we had a good track team. Like we would go to state sometimes for certain events.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and I went to state for one time just with high jump. I made it to state. And then I was like, you know what? I could pay for college with this. I could,
Mm.
and then I was like, well, how far could I take this? And I was like, Olympics. Well, that's
Mm.
the only thing I can think of because
Mm.
you're a track athlete in college. You can get paid for that through scholarships. And then after that, all you can do is like the only thing in my head as a high schooler was like, I can do the Olympics.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay. And so I really, really tried. And my coach was even so invested that I was the only kid he like coached on the off season. And that was technically not allowed. Like you're not allowed to do
Wow.
that. And
Y'all
he really
breaking the
believed in
rules
me.
over here.
Yeah, yeah. But so my sophomore year I went to state in high jump. Junior year I was like, I don't like running. I don't, there's something about it that I did the oh shoot, what's the name of it? Pentathlon. So in the
Okay.
pentathlon, you do a bunch of events on the same day, and you're
Mhm.
basically the only for me, I was the only person from my school who could do all of those events. So they sent me to do long jump, 100-meter hurdles, shot put, and high jump, and then the 800 meters. And I literally hated the 800 so much because it's basically I was used to anyway, I'm gonna this is an artist podcast. What am I talking about?
We're talking about high
My
school
point
sports. We're
my
talking about
point
high
is
school sports on this artist podcast.
yeah, well my point is once I found out, so I trained really, really hard and it wasn't what I loved. I already knew that, but I was like,
Mm.
I could make a career out of it. I could do this. I can push myself. I went to state sophomore year, junior year. I so in sectionals, the way it works is you have to get the top. Otherwise, you don't make it to state. So
Mm.
the year before I made it to state, that year I went up against. Usually this didn't happen because they move people around for sectionals from all
Mhm.
different counties, and it just so happened that the girl who was competing against me and the counties they put together for that sectionals that year was number one in the state, like in the
Fun.
states, like in
Fun.
Tennessee. So I grew up in Tennessee. She was number one, and because she was at that particular sectionals, I didn't make it to state. And that was after like training all the off season, working really
Mm.
hard, and even begging Miss Crow because at that point I had quit soccer, and I had done soccer even longer than track. So I quit soccer junior year and then just focused on track the other season. So soccer was in one season, track was in the other. And so when I quit soccer, I was like, Miss Crow, I'm quitting. I'm quitting soccer. Please let me audition for the lead for this show. And
Mm.
you know, she's a teacher. She's working really hard. She probably forgot. And I was like, yeah, I quit soccer for this. And it was after they cast everything and I didn't get the lead. And she's like, well,
Oh.
you should have told me. And I was like, I did tell you. I told you I quit soccer. And she's like, oh, sorry. I was like, that's okay. It's okay. Cause I still got a decent part. It was
Yeah.
fun.
What was the show?
Um, it was Korchaks Children. We all died in the Holocaust, basically. Korchaks
I.
Children is a really good show. It's based off a true story of Korchak, who took in
Mm.
orphans during that time.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so I played one of the older kids who had a little romance with another kid, and it was like the only romance in that little show.
Oh.
So it was a bigger part than some others.
Mhm.
But I was just like, this is awesome. Like, this is amazing. Um, but yeah, so for the track season, I knew I couldn't get a lead. So I was like, okay, if I can do really well and make it to state, who knows what my potential is. And then once I saw I didn't have potentials to make it to Olympics, because I was like, my height isn't there. I I'm tall, I'm slender, it'd be good for jumping, but I'm not tall enough to make it to the Olympics. And I just kind of
Mm.
put things into perspective, and I was like, that can't be a career for me. I'm and our uh teacher, Mrs. Crow, sorry. Sorry, Brenda Crow. Mrs. Crow. Mrs. Crow showed us credits, like film credits, and she was like, "See all these names, kids? Um, one of you could be in here, and look at all of these names. All of you in here are way less names than those names in the credits. There are so many jobs available in film. Don't let anyone tell you any different."
Hmm.
Which was a stark contrast than what I heard in elementary school, and growing up.
Yeah.
So I just told my mom that, and I was like, "Hey, that's a thing." And they're like, "Huh." And I was like, "Huh." But
Oh.
when I told my parents I was quitting senior year to focus on theater, they had a big talking with me. It was like a big
Ah.
deal. But going back to how we started this conversation, um I always thought that if I focused on something else other than acting, that I would lose acting. And I
Mm.
honestly, I'm still struggling with that. Like, so I talked to Jack Wan, our professor at Asbury, who was kind of like I would say he was a visiting professor for some classes.
They definitely brought him in for a few years, and he a few years in a row, and he helped teach some classes, or he directed a show, my first show that I did
Mm,
at Asbury called Shakespeareans. Um,
experience,
it's just
yeah.
kind of
So
a
I wasn't there
variety.
for that.
Yeah, that was right before you got here.
Yeah, or there, because we're not in
There,
Kentucky.
there,
We're in Georgia. But yeah,
Georgia.
he was saying you need to keep a journal when you leave here, to the whole class, not just to me, but he said you need to keep a journal of all the reasons why you're an artist every single day. And I was like, wow, that's actually pretty profound. But at the time I was like, why? Why? Like, why would we forget? And he said,
Mm.
well, once you get a job, a different job, sometimes you just forget. And I was kind of like hit. I've always carried that with me. Um, like, what are my priorities going to be when I leave college, and why am I an artist? So that's why I kind of love our, I mean, not kind of, I love our name, like Two
Mm.
Starving Artists. It's also very true, because this is the first time, like, being a personal trainer, I just became one. It's the first time I've considered any other career other than acting. Um, Mostly out of necessity, because I'm not getting any acting jobs right now.
Mm.
But then I started to really, really like the concept, and I love, it sounds super cheesy, but I love the idea of helping people live longer and happier lives and improving their lives through physical strength. I really, really love that. But it also comes from acting. Like, I always tried to be able to move and have mobility so I can do any role that comes along my way. And then through
Mm.
that, I found strength training, and actually started my love for it, to be honest. And that's a huge story in itself, but it's kind of scary having a career outside of being an artist. I don't want to. I missed an audition. I've never missed this many auditions, which is crazy, because I also produced a film this year.
which
Gabe, you were
was
a part of it.
which was huge. I'm
Yeah.
really, really proud of you for how hard you worked, and you got that box checked. You got the work done.
Well,
And it
here's
was
the thing. I'm like, I'm proud of the project, and I'm proud that, I'm proud of the nonprofit I started. That's, I mean, Gabe can also explain this too, but I started a nonprofit in order to do this film. And it's a nonprofit dedicated to helping actors and artists basically fund their dreams as long as it is a project or an art piece that is geared towards social justice. So
Mm,
this cause was human trafficking, and
mhm,
I don't get me wrong, I'm really proud about the project. I'm like there, it couldn't have gone better. It went better than I thought it would, but I don't know, I'm not proud with myself because I've missed so many auditions this year. I think that's what it
mhm,
is. And then yesterday I was getting ready for an audition and then I looked and the time passed and I was like, "What? The date? I don't think I read the date wrong, but I just I'm just so busy. Maybe I've never ever missed an audition. That's like the one thing you're never supposed to do. And I've missed so many and I think I know why my agents kept me on regardless. Like she knows I'm producing this. They know I'm producing this film, and they know I'm really busy. But at the same time, I'm like, if it was any other agent, they would have dropped me. They would have. So I'm proud of what the company's done. I'm proud of the film that's in pre post production right now. But I'm not proud with myself. So
mm,
today I got back from personal training at like 5 a.m. because I had really early session and I don't have enough clients yet to be full time, working full time, which is the goal.
mhm,
Because then once I get good at the schedule, then I can really work in. It's really flexible, so I could do acting stuff, you know.
mhm,
And I can also help people, which is great. But I got home and I never take naps. I push myself, you know this. I don't sleep very much. If there's a project, I try and get 7 to 8 hours, but I never sleep during the day. I don't take naps. I like working. Today I got home, I slept for 4 hours. And I'm
mm.
like, who am I? Who am I?
Well,
I
for
don't know.
me, that that tells me that tells me that you needed it.
Maybe.
Like when you in so with something in that specific vein, that like when you do that kind of thing, like you're talking about being a personal trainer, you're talking about helping people with strength training and conditioning. So much of that is about being in tune with and listening to your body, and listening and keeping a healthy mental attitude about it as well. And
Yeah.
so if you ask me, like that tells me that if that's not something you normally do, but like how do you feel, how did you feel after you got up? Did you feel rejuvenated? Did you feel
Well,
refreshed at all?
here's the thing. I love caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
I've also tapered it down a lot, like probably cut it down in half the past few
Mm-hmm.
months because I really am like trying to be the best I can to be a good example for the people I'm training. But I didn't have any caffeine today. Like I went to the gym. I usually have caffeine and then I work out, but I trained my clients. I worked out, like pushed myself really hard, and then I came back and was exhausted. And I didn't have any caffeine on purpose because I'm trying to save money, and I'm dying. So it could have been the caffeine. It also I am very tired. Like I worked my body very hard the past few weeks to get stronger and better and um that gym is freaking amazing. Like you really have to check it out. Like you will understand once you see it. It's just great cuz it's like anything, you know, if you're in a place where it's encouraging and it's also a good environment, it kind of pushes you to work harder and be better. And so I pushed myself, you know, and I think my body just needed that rest.
Yeah.
And but I don't know. Part of me is like, I need to work. But that's you're right. It is. I'm big on intuitive eating, intuitive like everything. I'm trying to do that at least. So
And maybe you
you're
also need
right.
to throw intuitive napping on there as well.
Intuitive napping. I never nap, but maybe with these insane hours, I'll probably have to. Who knows?
Well, yeah, and like because it's important to make sure like we can't rely on caffeine for everything, you know. Like I'm sure you have found all
Yeah,
people will know
no.
that
No, we need carbs for that.
carbs and sleep.
Carbs equal energy. Then we need
Yeah,
fats and protein, of course, but
and sleep so that you can recover and
and
rest.
sleep. Yeah, sleep is actually most underrated when I talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so 7 to 8 hours of sleep, everybody, folks. But
Yeah.
yeah, I got like so much more than that with my naps.
And I think once in a while, that's okay. I think once in a while, that kind of thing can be okay, because it can also serve as a nice little mental reset. And I know for me, in the middle of the day, if I'm having, I don't know, if it's been kind of a crappy morning, but I'm ahead on my work activities and that kind of thing, then I'll take a short break.
Hmm.
I'd contact my sales manager and I'd be like, hey, I just need to clear my head for a little bit, and then I'll lay down and I'll take like a 20-minute nap, and it'll just having the ability to give my body and my mind permission to say, hey, it's okay to turn off for this
Hmm.
little bit. It's like rebooting your computer, or rebooting your phone if it's running slow. It clears the cache and allows you to keep running, or at least it does for me. And so I think that should be something to keep in mind, I think, personally.
Yeah. I also like how mental health is kind of becoming a bigger thing with everybody and also with actors. That's what I've
Mm,
seen at least.
mm-hmm.
I think movies like Silver Linings Playbook, um, they kind of a lot of movies are starting to point toward um, empathy. I think they've always done that, but some of the films like Silver Linings Playbook, they're so geared toward mental health awareness.
Mm,
Um, and now I just, every time I'm on TikTok, there's so many like psychologists on there and therapists, and there's good and bad sides to trends and stuff, but that's one
mm-hmm.
really good one. And something I've seen, and I think I've talked about uh, on our nonprofit page at least, is taking breaks as an actor. Like before, to be an actor, you had to just suck it up. Um, before a lot of movements recently, which I don't want to talk about specifically, there's been so many movements though toward not just unionizing things, like making things better for the actors, but also some really cool people have been talking about taking breaks from auditioning or for like mental health, or even, what is okay on set. Because I was talking to some actors, and we were just talking about the horror stories we've encountered being background actors and also being actors for sure. And you were just supposed to say yes, and then
Mm.
call your agent. And I still say that's the right way to go, to say yes and then say, um, well, not say yes, say, let me talk to my agent real quick.
Hmm.
But in the past, I've heard that what you were supposed to do was go, yeah, anything and everything.
Hmm.
Then I had some acting teachers be like, well, get the people to show you how to do it. Like I had to get in a hole for a pirate film. I had to be buried
I remember
alive.
this. I remember this story.
I had to be buried alive as a pirate. And so I was like, how about you hop in first and show me how it'll go? He's like, oh yeah, sure. And I was like, just keep those centipedes away from me, please. And he's like, you got it. So that's a healthy way to do it. But what do you when you think about like, I know, like we've worked together long enough. I know that you've worked with people who kind of just expect the push and expect like just to for actors to do anything and kind of be doormats, honestly. But um what about like saying no to auditions sometimes, because it might not be um you might like feel like it's too much for you. There's a lot going on, let's say, and you feel like you need to take a break from auditioning.
I think, like, in the same vein of saying it's okay to take a nap, I think that I think everything has seasons. And so I think during the season that you are working on the short film, it's called Elena. It's I think it's going to be a smash when it comes out. Everybody keep an eye out for it, because I know we'll be talking about it again later. Um,
Yeah, we will be for sure, a lot.
I definitely think it's okay to take a step back. Heck, like, I don't know if you've seen this. Just the other day, I was reading a post about how Andrew Garfield is himself taking a break from acting. That man has been on a tear over the last few years of doing stuff. He did the Tick Tick Boom
Mhm.
musical that is now on
So
Netflix that
good.
I adore. He was in Spider-Man. He was just in a
Uh,
crime drama for Hulu called Under the Banner of Heaven.
he was in
That
Angels
I'm
in America
He's in
too.
Angels
He
in
was
America. He's been
fantastic.
doing all sorts of stuff. And what he said really struck me was, I need to take a break from this. This is going to be like my loose paraphrase, but he said, I need to take a break from this and kind of just live as me for a little while and figure out who I am and figure out what, do some things that I want to do. And, I guess one thing that, not many people think about for actors is that you spend so much time inhabiting someone else's shoes and someone else's headspace. And when you're in the midst of auditioning, you're doing that even more. You have to be like, sure, you might be, if you're, going for a certain type of role, you might be, getting one certain, I guess, brand or type of shoes, if you will, if we want to run with that analogy. Um, but you're still spending a lot of that time um, getting into someone else's headspace and really empathizing with, where this character is coming from and what they're wanting and what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to do. And so when you're in the midst of doing something like producing this film, which is something that you're wanting to do, and you need to be in your headspace, and you need to
Oh God, it was so hard acting in one little scene. I had like 5 lines and I was losing my mind because I just couldn't do it. I don't know. It
it
was
was
just
hard. It was really, really hard. And so I think that in seasons, it's okay for things to come and go. There are going to be audition seasons for you coming down the line. There are going to be seasons where we need to focus more on the nonprofit. That's the word. Why did it take me so long to remember nonprofit?
there are so many
Uh,
words I've been reaching for, Gabe. Don't feel bad. I've been like blah, blah, blah,
uh,
blah, 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 blah.
dead air. Dead air. Um, but no, yeah, there's things are going to come in seasons. There's going to be other audition seasons. There's going to be short film seasons. There's going to be nonprofit seasons. And so moving something to a back burner, which, that idea, sure, it might not mean you're stirring that pot actively right now, but it's still on the stove. It's
Yeah.
still on a burner. It's still receiving heat. It's still cooking. Just because you've taken your main focus away from auditioning for right now doesn't mean that you never will. It doesn't mean that, sure, we can spend as much time as we want in that headspace of, well, what if I missed the big break
Oh
project?
yeah.
What if like
Yeah.
it's everything is what ifs if we want
Uh
it to be.
well, that was literally my worst fear is like if I
Mm.
don't audition, that's my big break. It's gone.
And I
Granted,
would
these were like commercials. So, but that's still a big deal. That's a lot of money. But we're not in this for the money. Come on, we're starving. Ha ha
no,
ha.
Lord knows we're
Uh,
not in this for the money. um
oh God, I gotta show you a TikTok later.
we can
You
do
just
that
made
later.
you made a face that reminded me of the TikTok.
Oh
That
man,
was so
we can
funny.
do that. We can do that
Oh God.
afterwards. We can
You made
maybe
that
later.
sound sensual.
I'm sorry.
It did. We're just friends.
Welcome to
We're
Two
just
Starving
friends.
Artists After Hours.
Oh God. Oh, we could do like a dating hotline for people.
Oh gosh, this
For
I'll
actors.
well
Oh,
we'll have it. That'll be late. That'll be next production meeting. We'll talk about that next production meeting.
yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
so that's the one area where I feel like you can't afford to think like that. You can't afford to look at every opportunity that you didn't take and say, what if that was it? Because then you're spending all of your time and mental energy thinking about something that's already happened, and you're not dedicating yourself to the next one, which that's the name of the game for auditions, right? It's about it's about the next one. You're getting yourself ready. It's about
Yeah,
getting
that's
yourself ready to say yes to the right one.
oh yeah. I think you and I definitely agree with you. For sure. Like 100%. I agree with you. But you and I think about things a little bit differently, whereas I'm afraid to miss out So
Oh
I
no,
feel like,
I have
uh,
FOMO as well.
oh,
Like I
hold on. Let me explain. I I've seen you like do auditions where you're so excited that you auditioned, and I'm like, cool. I don't get why Gabe's excited about that. Like for me, for instance, like I'll audition and I'm like, cool, I did it. That was what I did. I did it. And so I'm happy that I did it. But for you, you're like, I'm so excited to hear back. And I'm like, I'm not that excited to hear back. I don't know. And then I just feel like I don't get as disappointed when I don't hear back, because I'm just like, I am really focused on opportunities. And for me, that was the opportunity, and it's gone. So if I hear back, I remember hearing back from my agent once, and she's like, "You got it." I'm like, "Cool, which one?" Because it was like I had auditioned for several things, so I'm like, "Cool, which one?" And she was like, "Uh, the let me look." But
scroll,
like,
scroll, 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 scroll.
yeah, I don't know. I just I don't really get disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've had so much time to digest it already, you know? Like if I did have an audition with a big star, like let's say they wanted to read across from the actors auditioning, I'd be like, "Whoa, I got to meet that actor. That was so cool."
Mm-hmm.
But the that's why I'm so bad at auditions, I think, because I'm just so nervous about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to speak that out. I'm good at auditions. What am I talking about?
You're
Yeah,
great.
I need to be
I
more
have helped you
confident.
tape before. You are solid, solid
No,
auditioner.
no, no, I don't think so.
You are. You are. Trust me.
I
You
really
are.
don't. I
You
really don't think
are.
so.
Yeah. You are.
No, I
You
have a lot
really
to work
are.
on. Okay,
We
thanks,
all
Gabe.
do.
All right, all right, all right. Well, I think the thing I need to work on, which a lot of actors need to work on. Oh, I have so much I want to talk about. We need
Save
so many more
future
episodes.
episodes. We
But
need
yeah,
content down the line.
yeah, just real quick. Each show has a different feel, like a different mood, and I've seen actors. Oh my gosh, they're so good at like fitting into the world.
Hmm.
And like I can be a different character for sure, but is it in the mood of the show? Like, does it
Hmm.
fit the mood? Do I add something to the existing mood? I think that's what I struggle with, especially if the mood hasn't been created yet. If it's not like a founded show, you can't go
Hmm.
back and watch it, and it's a new movie, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I know for a fact that's probably why I haven't gotten a lot, because I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't, either I don't know the mood or I don't fit the mood, and I just feel like something's off. So I need to
Well,
figure that out.
what that tells me is that maybe it's a good thing that you didn't make it in there, because if they had cast you and you're spending this time on, you're not just in your room in front of your cell phone and ring light feeling like you couldn't find it, but you're now on set feeling like you don't belong, or feeling like you're not bringing the
True.
right kind of mood.
I mean, yeah, but isn't that our job as actors to be able to fit into any mood? Like that should be the goal, is to be that good. So for instance, I
Maybe a
see
goal.
actors, it definitely is a goal for sure. But there's this one dude, man. He's not well known. I think he's only well known for dating or no, sorry, being married to Colleen Ballinger now.
Well, he
The
dated her
girl who
at some
plays
point.
Miranda Sings, but
Mm-hmm.
he is an actor, and I just found out about him because of her.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at his stuff and I was like, "Holy crabs. He's good." You can look at his stuff, and I mean, just look him up. He's just a chameleon.
Hmm.
He just fits right into the mood, and he's almost unrecognizable just because of that. And I think maybe that's why a lot of actors can become unrecognizable, because they just fit into different moods
Mm-hmm.
of not only mode and different characters, but ugh, I need to be able to have words for this. My vocabulary will surely grow during this podcast.
I feel like our job isn't necessarily to, let me figure out how I want to word this. I think our job isn't necessarily just to fill any role or mood placed before us, but to make strong choices and be the best, at least in the audition room, to make strong choices and be the bring forth the best one that we can be. Because it's ultimately, the directors and the producers and the casting agent's choice if the mood that we bring is the one that they want to have. That's it. That's the one that we want to have in here. And so to me,
I think it's a balance. No, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I mean, I was just wrapping up the idea. Just saying, like, I think our job, at least when we're auditioning, is to bring the best energy and like, read through the section of script that we're given, pick out, pinpoint the beats, label, like, discover what that mood is, what that mode is, and what that role is, make strong choices, and then bring the best energy that we can to that role and that mood and that mode that we have decided to strike for and punch for.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like some actors are really good at that, at bringing strong choices, but when it comes to being directable, that's really hard to balance for those actors, I think.
Oh yeah. Definitely agree.
Well, this has been a good first episode.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree.
Wholeheartedly
it is. We've hit levels. We've been lighthearted. We talked about our backgrounds. We
talked about death, the meaning of life.
42.
I'm just kidding. That's next episode. No,
we're unpacking the meaning of existence in the next episode. Yeah,
man, I wouldn't show up if that was the next one. I'd be like, I gotta think about this some more. But yeah, this has been cool.
This has been very cool. Brooke, thank you for asking me to do this and having this idea. I'm looking forward to doing it some more.
I don't think it was just my idea. Was it my idea?
I think you were the first one to broach the topic with me. Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh yeah, we've been talking about doing this for over a year now.
Yep.
Over a year. Yeah.
So yeah, Brooke, thank you for asking me to do this. Everyone at home, listening, in the car, wherever you're listening to it.
You froze on me.
Into the Two Starving Artists podcast. We will be back again next. No, freeze. Am I back?
You're back. That was hilarious. We'll be back again when?
We'll be back again after a time unit span with our next episode.
Our goal would probably be to do this every Wednesday.
We're going to try to be doing
this. But this one would come out next Wednesday.
Yeah, right. It is currently, Brooke, May the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day.
May the 4th be with you, Sonny.
And also with you, dating this podcast. So if you're listening to this podcast on May the 4th next year, 2023, then happy May the 4th to you as well. And,
yeah. Happy May the 4th to you, future people. Hopefully we won't wait that long to release it. But
no. Thank you once again to everybody who tuned in. Brooke, thank you for asking me to do this fun little thing.
Thanks for doing this with me.
Of course. We are going to have a blast doing this, talking about acting, talking about life, just being real about where we're at and having a good time hanging out. Because we want
being
you guys,
artists.
We want this community. Like, we're hoping to build this community around actors supporting each other. We're all going to be starving artists together, helping boost each other to that next level.
Who knows? We might even share with you our really super cheap grocery list.
Oh my God! Tips and tricks to surviving as actors in the modern workplace.
Yes, hands down, best tips and tricks around to being non-starving artists. Yeah, artists. We are artists, and we are here to help you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us today.
And good luck to you.
No, break a leg, folks. Break your legs. Break legs. Break all your legs and all the arms, or just the legs.
And we
That
will
probably
see
make
you
more sense.
guys. We will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.